This is Real News Media TV, coverage you can trust. Please like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates.
Mom pleads guilty to failing to notify authorities about pregnant 13-year-old. A Kingston woman was on Thursday hauled before the Kingston and St. Andrew Parish Court for failing to notify the authorities about the pregnancy of her 13-year-old daughter. The teenager was reportedly impregnated by a 22-year-old pastor whom she met on Facebook. The woman, who pleaded guilty to failing to report to the Office of the Children's Registry, however, denied having knowledge about her daughter's condition. "Me never know she's pregnant," she insisted. She further told a parish court judge, Lauren Cole Montague, that the child lives with her 71-year-old grandmother. The judge subsequently ordered a social inquiry report and extended her bail for her to return to court on October 26. The grandmother has also been charged with failing to report to the Office of the Children's Registry, while the pastor has been charged with rape. According to allegations, the teen met the pastor in March of last year on Facebook, and they started communicating. She was then reportedly invited to visit the pastor's church and started attending regularly. It is further reported that the teen and the pastor would often communicate using her grandmother's phone, and that when she became pregnant, she introduced the pastor to her grandmother as the man who had gotten her pregnant. It is also alleged that the man would visit her at the grandmother's home and would stay over when he visited Kingston to attend church. The grandmother is also alleged to have collected money from the pastor to take care of the teen's medical needs. Indicum probe 2 fatal police shooting incidents in corporate area. The Independent Commission of Investigations says it has begun investigations into 2 separate police shooting incidents resulting in the death of 4 men in the corporate area on Tuesday, July 20, 2021. According to Indicum, in the first incident, the police reported that 4 officers assigned to the St. Andrew South Quick Response Team signaled 2 motor vehicles to stop along Ferguson Drive in Riverton City. It is alleged that male occupants of one of the vehicles exited and fired at the police. The police returned fire, and the 3 men were subsequently found to be suffering from gunshot injuries. The men were pronounced dead at Kingston Public Hospital. The 3 deceased men remain officially unidentified at this time. The police have also advised that 2 men escaped and 4 persons, 2 men and 2 women, are in custody. 2 firearms were reported as recovered from the incident scene: a UTG AK-47 rifle and a Browning 9mm pistol. The incident scene was processed by Indicum, and the weapons of the officers and recovered firearms were boxed and sealed for testing at the government forensic laboratory. The hands of the deceased men were also swabbed for gunshot residue, Indicum said. The police officers have provided initial accounts to Indicum. All officers were issued Section 21 notices to furnish a statement and attend the offices of Indicum to be interviewed in relation to this incident. In the second shooting incident, Indicum said the police reported that 2 officers proceeded to a premises on Maxfield Avenue in response to information regarding a man with a gun. The officers reported that they entered the premises and saw 2 men, one of whom pointed a firearm in the direction of the police. One officer fired, injuring both men. The man who was allegedly seen with the firearm was pronounced dead, and the other man was treated and admitted to a hospital in stable condition. The deceased male has been identified as 21-year-old Howard Barton. A 9mm pistol with serial number was reportedly recovered from the scene. The incident scene was processed by Indicum, and the weapons of the officers and the recovered firearm were boxed and sealed for testing at the government forensic laboratory. The police officers will be required to furnish a statement and attend the offices of Indicum to be interviewed in relation to this incident. Indicum sought to remind the public that it is important for persons with information to contact its head office and assist with any ongoing investigations. Trelawney Farm manager remanded on murder charge. David Lee, the farm manager accused of murder, was again remanded when he appeared in the Trelawney Parish Court on Friday. The 28-year-old will return to court on August 10, when investigators are expected to submit the outstanding toxicology report. His attorney, Christopher Townsend, is also expected to renew his bail application. Mr. Lee is charged with the fatal shooting of 27-year-old Kimberly Forbes during a dispute in Allside with a bit Trelawney. Local government minister says entertainment sector will not be targeted. Local government minister Desmond McKenzie has sought to reassure members of the entertainment sector that they will not be targeted in the review of COVID-19 prevention measures this weekend. The COVID-19 subcommittee of cabinet has scheduled a meeting for today to discuss the uptick in cases of the virus and, among other things, determine whether there may be need to tighten up some of the prior to their expiration on August 10. Promoters have said they are in a wait-and-see mode, while one has called for the government to step up its enforcement of the measures rather than adjusting them. McKenzie says there is no evidence to support commentary that the entertainment sector is to be blamed for the increase in COVID cases. I just want to give the assurance to the sector that we consider it important. In my own constituency, it is an industry that provides livelihood. So we are not going to be singling the entertainment sector for any blame. What we need now is a collective response from all Jamaicans, and whatever will come out of what will be said next week will be done after we have looked at the facts and consider where we are as a country. He also urged the Jamaicans to obey the protocols, adding that the country cannot remain under restrictions. We will rely on the Jamaican people to ensure that they play their part in following the protocols, observing the social distancing, the hand sanitizing, and if you feel sick, tana your yard. We cannot place the blame on any sector. The local government minister has also reacted to criticism that the government acted hastily in relaxing the COVID measures last month. The government will not get into an argument with that. As a government, we have to look into the facts and take decisions, and whatever comes out of the meeting of the cabinet next week, it will be better for the country and not to penalize any sector. Others have also weighed in on the timing of lifting of restrictions. According to the president of the Medical Association of Jamaica, Dr. Andrew Manning, the measures should have been relaxed more gradually. And the president of the Jamaica Manufacturers and Exporters Association, John Mafu, says the government got it wrong and should have taken note of the spike in cases in other countries which have higher vaccination rates. Taxi driver dies in St. Mary crash. A taxi operator died in a motor vehicle crash on Banana Road in Port Maria, St. Mary on Friday morning. He has been identified as 53-year-old Philip Clunis of the Frontier Housing Scheme in St. Mary. 5 other persons were injured. About 8:30 a.m., Mr. Clunis was driving a Toyota Probox which collided with a tow truck traveling in the opposite direction. The driver of the truck, Andrew Martin, told the news that he tried to avoid the collision by sticking as closely to the left of the road as possible, but the taxi continued to head straight into his vehicle. I couldn't do nothing more. It was just coming down by my side, coming straight down. Him don't try to even take away from the truck. So unfortunately, it be like that, you know, he lamented. Motorcyclists implored to wear protective gear. Director of the Island Traffic Authority, Kenute Hare, is again appealing to motorcyclists to wear protective gear when operating motorcycles on the roads. I want motorcyclists to critically understand that the motorcycle is one of the most dangerous motor vehicles anyone could ever operate. It has 2 wheels, it doesn't have a cage to protect you in the event of a collision, and that is why you must wear protective clothing, Hare said. He was speaking at a recent online road safety lunchtime session initiated by the Road Safety Unit in the Ministry of Transport and Mining. The ITA director said that persons need to wear suitable safety helmets that cover the entire head and not the half helmet, which he pointed out is inadequate. He said that the chin straps of the helmet must be properly secured. Don't catch the helmet on the head because that can be perilous. You want to at least give yourself a fighting chance to survive a collision, Mr. Hare said. The ITA director advised that wearing protective padding is also very critical and noted that shoes and clothing that expose the body, such as slippers and shorts, are not conducive to traveling safely on a motorcycle. Mr. Hare also warned motorcyclists against modifying motorcycles. As such, adjustments could be to their detriment. He noted, for example, that the removal of the silencer from mufflers can affect the hearing of riders over the long term. The silencer is a device used to reduce the noise from the engine, but persons often remove it to allow for loud revving of the motorcycle. Mr. Hare further urged the motorcyclist not to remove the side mirrors, as the devices give the rider a clear view of what is happening behind them, thereby enabling them to take the necessary evasive actions. Most of the motorcyclists killed are males. Most of them are breadwinners, and we are dying, leaving our children before our time, and the data would reveal that a lot of it has to do with human factors. Predominantly, it is the behavior of the motorcyclist that needs to be addressed, he said. 142 new COVID-19 cases, 5 additional deaths. Jamaica has recorded 5 more COVID-19 deaths, pushing the tally to 1,173. Those who have died are a 72-year-old man from St. James, a 51-year-old man from Kingston and St. Andrew, a 38-year-old man from St. James, an 83-year-old man from St. Thomas, and a 68-year-old man from St. Elizabeth. The Ministry of Health says one of the deaths was previously under investigation, and 1 more fatality is under investigation, moving that figure to 162. Meanwhile, there were 142 new cases, with ages ranging from 5 months to 84 years, pushing the total to 51,828, with 3,481 being active. Of the new cases, 80 are women and 62 are men. Kingston and St. Andrew account for the majority of the new infections with 49 cases, followed by St. Catherine and St. James, which both recorded 20 cases each. A total of 2,366 tests were conducted. The country's positivity rate stands at 13.6%. In the meantime, there were 24 more recoveries, increasing the total to 46,818. Some 143 persons are in hospital, with 32 being moderately ill and 16 critically ill. 10 persons are in government quarantine, while 43,725 are at home.
Please remember to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates.